have been crazy, but that's just alright.
Hi everyone, welcome into the First Call Plus, where we're previewing a couple of races from the undercard in our two meetings from Hastings and Riccarton Park tomorrow. Kicking off with the Hawaiian Airlines Fashion in the Field Hastings race number 2, where we have Selfie 330, Kalani a little shorter 320, 390 for Bull Rush. He's always looked an exciting horse, Kalani. Jason Tan, fresh up. Any word about for him?
Yes, for sure. In that fresh state from a good draw. Probably going to settle midfield though. Look, the pace is interesting in this race, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. There's horses such as Perfect Harmony, who's a go-forward horse, but I'm not too sure on top of the ground whether he'll have the speed to get there. Bull Rush is a horse who's been in Australia, a horse who's been a go-forward horse. Morse Code with the better barrier draw this time round. I'm sure they'll want to be on speed, Selfie and Perfect Harmony. That means Kalani gets back a little bit along with excuses.
Kalani was a very good winner at Te Rapa over 1,400 metres. This race, I remember this day, Jason, big and strong for Roger James, and always looked like he was going to take a little bit of time, and that is exactly what he's got.
The last 3 runs of last preparation, he really put it together, didn't he? He stepped up in ground as well over the 1,400 metres, and he just drives to the line in great sectionals. He is going to be very hard to beat, but I think the horse that comes from Sydney that's going to set the pace for Mora and Kieran Murdoch, to me is the one to beat. Has come over with Waikato Stud, and there was nothing wrong physically. There was nothing physically wrong with the horse, but just went off over there. Has had a jump out at Pukekohe, and they're really happy. Mora Murdoch is really happy with how he presents. I think he can lead them up, and I think he can win.
I think the beauty about going to the beach, because just sparked that horse, and by all accounts, Leith Innes was aboard for that jump out win, and he was really happy with it. Half to Sports Illustrated, who was 5 from 5 in New South Wales to start with, I thought was going to be very hard to beat. The horse I thought was one of the dangers outside Kalani was Selfie. His run resuming and behind Watch the Space was very good. At Ruakaka last time out, Boston aboard, he's had 3 rides on the horse for 2 wins and a 6th placing in a Group 1, so they get on.
In one?
In one, Bull Rush. I'm with Jason.
Bull Rush.
Okay, very good. Stella Artois Miles, the next one we're going to take a look at out of Hastings, race number 6. Let's take a look at the market for this 3.2B feature. He's been a little bit of an inward mover here, Aidan. Yeah,
it was, I think, $3.80 on opening, but came in quite sharply yesterday into $3 just about straight away. $4.20 about Camino Rocoso, who's going to be a whole lot better than the Ruakaka run, he was just caught out by a sit and sprint. And Promise to Rain in the market here at $4.50 and $1.65 was very good on the middle day, resuming in a race that was the first 2 and running with the first 2 home. She came from a long way back and looks to be a chance here again. She's probably able to get a little bit handier from barrier. I just thought there was no speed here. You've got 2 speed horses in the race, Camino Rocoso and Heaven's Keep, and then it's really up to the jockeys where they want to be. If someone wants to be positive, I think the trail's there for the taking. I have mapped Promise to Rain to be there, but I think you could pick any number of them here, Jason, to take that position.
Yeah, I don't know that Promise to Rain is going to be able to get the trail from where she's drawn. She hasn't really shown too much ability to muster, but there are a whole lot of
she has at times when they have put her on. Mark Duplessis was on her once last preparation and just really put her into the race, and she was able to get there. I think if they are positive that they can get there, because I don't think there's anything else. Those 2 are that much faster than the rest of the field, and even from there, I think if they were positive, they can get across.
While you're chatting, Jason, let's take in Promise to Rain's 3rd placing back on the 23rd of September. Heaven's Keep finishes into 5th on this occasion. What do you take out of this?
Well, Promise to Rain and Heaven's Keep, when they've met, I think it's 3-0 in favour of Promise to Rain. I think with Heaven's Keep, I really do think that he has the opportunity to dominate the event tomorrow. Find the front, get an uncontested lead. Camino Rocoso, they've been trying to get him to race more tractably. But I think they'll find themselves outside the lead or maybe on the lead by default with Camino Rocoso. There's just a whole lot of horses that are early in their preparations and probably wanting a little bit more ground that aren't going to be hunted to find spots. So a good genuine tempo, if Jonathan Parks can set that on Heaven's Keep, I think he's going to be the fit horse and hard to run down. However, there is some class in behind that could sprint well in that fresh state.
Let's turn the page to race number 10. This is the Bostock New Zealand Spring Carnival finale. I'm going to have a look at the market for it. Break My Stride $5, down to $6.80 for Decades. Got a couple of others in single figures here, Tiptronic and also Arrangement. Jason, your reaction to this market?
Driving My Friend unlikely to start, and Baker Forsman camp not sure about Break My Stride either. Arraignment was very good, wasn't he, when he won on the middle day? Decades is in good form at $6.80. Flamingo, well, can't she reel off a sectional, Flamingo?
Yeah, exactly. Had very good wins in the first two starts. It was then set a task in Group 3 company. The next start came from last to finish third in that Cambridge Breeders' Stakes, and the resuming run for fourth and behind Deals and Heels was outstanding. There's a lot of pressure here, and it'll suit her down to the ground. I have mapped Break My Stride in here as well as Travelling My Friend, but as Jason said, both of those two horses could be coming out. Barter Bullock to get on speed along with Arraignment. Tiptronic to get forward, that's for sure to get forward. I thought there was enough pressure early here. Did you agree with that, Jason?
Yeah, I do. And I think that sets up really well for horses like Flamingo and Profile. Profile a little bit dropped by the market at 13 to 1. Pretty keen on her chances a couple of starts ago, and I'd be happy to spec her at 14, but yeah, still pretty keen on Flamingo.
Let's take a look at Flamingo's replay, Jason. I'll get you to talk me through this.
Well, look where she is in running. She comes the rail. Profile is there as well. The race won by Deals and Heels, is widest of all, and really hits the line that's in the Cancer Society colours, Flamingo, and the white cheek pieces or winkers. So that a good performance. Profile that day got an early check, settled back, and you add a couple of lengths to that and she finishes a lot closer. But those are the two horses that I'm sort of playing around on the basis that there should be good enough speed that will suit them. Yeah,
I agree with you totally, Jason. I think Flamingo's the horse to beat on that run. The other horse in there was That's For Sure. Out of that, if this horse had drawn a gate, I'd have been a whole lot happier. Barrier 15 puts me off to some extent, but the run was very good last time out, and no doubt she's got the ability to be competitive.
Yeah, she's another one at a good price as well. I'd be happy to be playing That's For Sure second up. She's won second up before. Definitely improve it. Agree totally.
Well, it's the feature on the middle day of the New Zealand Cup Carnival, the Copeland's Bakeries Mile, and the prelude is from Riccarton Park, and we see a field line up over 1,400 metres with the resumption of La Diosa. $3, Son of Maha, $3, $5.50, two's not enough, and $5.50 maybe Miami. Two's not enough, it's pretty short here.
Yeah, very much in the market. I'm a little bit surprised, but I suppose there's some doubt how forward your La Diosa and Son of Maha horses are.
She's got a great fresh up record, La Diosa.
And she's trialled a couple of times, right?
And she was ready to go, what, 2 weeks ago?
They had scratch, yeah, exactly. The speed here comes from maybe Miami, who was very good under a big weight last time out. Tanya Jonker again takes the weight off with her claim. Flag the Groom, probably likely to get handy. I think they'll be just neutral out of the gates with those two Group 1 performers, La Diosa and Son of Maha. La Diosa, remember, was a Group 2 winner of the Surround Stakes resuming last preparation as well, so she's got the ability.
You think sort of 1,1600 metres as you go, don't you?
Absolutely. Yes. Does she have to go before Son of Maha? What happens there? They get to the 600 coming around the turn, someone's got to go. Russia Kneed's got options. You
I get the feeling that you'd like to, if your connections with La Diosa, ride her cold and come off the back of Son of Maha and sprint past him. I think she's got that ability. Definitely what she's done. They come in on level weights, and La Diosa significantly better performed, even though Son of Maha has always shown himself to be a very good horse. He's had a very up and down career, hasn't he, with issues.
It's interesting to see what sort of stage these horses are. Obviously, they would have liked to have got a runner now. Before now, I would have thought ahead of the Copeland's Mile, because I'm sure that they're both contenders on their ability. But how taxing a first up run are they wanting, or do they need to be really getting this run under their belt to get them there? The interesting point for mine is Timmy Tyler here, down to 50.5 kilograms. Comes in 3 kilograms better than Two's Not Enough after only about a quarter length between them last time. Probably needs a bit of rain about, but I wouldn't be dismissing Timmy Tyler at clearly.
He should have won last start. Come on, Aidan. Sorry.
Sounds like a lot of pain in that statement. A lot of pain in that statement there, Matthew.
Yeah, very good. Okay, let's look at La Diosa's trial. Coming into this race here, she is sitting behind the speed. Never really trials exceptionally. She's like one of those good horses who brings it race day, Jason.
Yeah, this was in place of that race that she was going to line up in, so ended up going to the trials and, well, yeah, just kept up to her work. Wasn't really asked for too much. I thought it was a good enough effort, a good blowout trial, really.
Yes, and I'm sure that's what Connections would have been wanting, just a bit of exertion to make sure she's ready for this first one, that it's not going to hurt her.
Two's Not Enough. The next horse we're taking a look at, finishing second at Riccarton Park. This one here. Here's Timmy Tyler.
Here we go.
Timmy Tyler should have won this. He should have.
Talk us through it.
He should have won.
Come on.
Well, he's never hit it.
Get the couch out and you can just lie down and tell me about it.
Lara Fee is flying. Two's not enough. Copped a bit of a check, didn't it? Maybe. Oh, it's probably a bit
Not
of an
far
unfair
away, and
statement
it's
saying
a
he should
3
have
kilogram
won.
swing towards Timmy Tyler here. So on that, I would
Yeah,
have
no,
been thinking.
I'll take it back. It's probably an unfair statement saying he should have won that, but
You don't want to pop Timmy Tyler into your trifecta now?
Nope.
Jockey upgrade with Alicia Collett taking over Kin Quo on 2 is not enough. I thought 2 is not enough. It was a pretty good run. Clear late, changed legs once it got into the clear and hit the line, but was never a winning chance because it just wasn't able to be fully in clear galloping room. Do you go maybe Miami again?
Yes.
You were big on it. You were big on it last time. Does he get an uncontested lead?
He'll be hard on the job in front, and if they're wanting to get a mile with him, look, do you want to rush forward and put him on the speed?
It's his pet distance though,
It
isn't it?
is. He's very good at
1400. He's very good
yes.
at 1400.
Yeah.
He's
But I know they've got
sprinting
bigger
so well
plans.
though, but he just keeps copping those big weights, which makes it hard. But it was well ridden last time. 1400.
He's had 2 runs, right? So he's going to be pretty close. Like he's, obviously targeted.
That gives
for the
him an edge
Copelands,
over
but-
those 2 trialists, over Son of Maher and La Dios.
Well, if she can get an easy time, say from the 1000 to the 700, then it's going to make it very hard for those horses to peel sectionals off his back because we know how he can run time. So much like his last start, he's probably a very good place bet. Let's turn the page anyway. We've talked about that race enough and got up each other. The last race we're going to look at is the Waimakariri Businesses North Canterbury Cup 260 Imperium. He's come in quite short and looks the horse to beat here, Aidan.
Yeah, sure does. The last start run was very good because he's a horse who really just needs to be wound up and put into the race early. He's likely to well, I actually thought he'd get back again to that same sort of position, but it's up to Michael McNabb just to be putting him into the race early. There's just no speed in this race. We'll have a look at the map for you here with locally sourced, the likely leader in the race with a bit of speed coming from Zartan and Princess Brook, but no pressure for mine at all in this race, Jason.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue for him. I don't know that from that draw they'd want to be snagging right back to last, but rather ride him where he's comfortable.
Does he have speed to do that though? He just seems to be a horse who just takes so much to get going.
Yeah, you ride him where you ride him where you find him, I suppose. But if there isn't speed, then he won't get too far off them. And you'd think that on top of the ground, he's got the best turn of foot in the race over 2,000 metres. So he looks a great bet on the card for me.
Imperium was a winner over 1,600 metres last time to the races. Aidan, here he is coming deep on the track here. And as you say, once he winds up and hits top gear, he's got a bit of momentum here.
Yeah, he does. Jason's suggesting he's got a good turn of foot. I think he's a bit more of a one batter. I really do. I think he's got to be wound up into it, but he does just keep on coming, and he is a really willing horse. He's a New Zealand Cup contender if he can keep on, picking himself up going through the grades. So not a bad win there, Jason.
Yeah, I should qualify that by saying relative to his competition on top of the ground. A lot of these horses are slow, heavy track horses that get through conditions well. He's a horse that loves being on top of the ground. He stays on. He can sustain an 800-metre gallop that these others can't. So unless they go a ridiculous pace and Michael McNabb is sitting back there doing nothing, if he makes his move at the 800 metres, he should simply be winning the race, just rolling into it at his own leisure.
That's all we have time for here today on the First Call Plus. Happy punting to you over the weekend. Enjoy Winks, and we hope that you find yourself a couple of winners.